Hey guys, Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Today I am back with the June, which is the 6th instalment of the Christmas Stampathon challenge. And this month it is all about texture. So I've taken a bit of a stretch of the word texture, and I'm using the distinctive stamp set from the brand new Stampin' Up! Catalogue. And distinctive means creating texture where there is none. So just to show you the back of this stamp, it feels totally and utterly smooth, where if I show you one of our other stamps, this is nice and deeply etched, exactly how all of our other stamps are. But would you believe this stamp created this image? Well, it does, and I'll show you how in a second. And I have also used our wreath dynamic textures embossing folder, which I will also show you. It's one of our really deep embossing folders. So this is let me try that again. This is a 10.5 centimeter by 10.5 centimeter square card that I have made for the challenge. I've used one stamp set and the embossing folder for the card, and the colours I have used are Shaded Spruce, Real Red and Whisper White. So let's start with the card. Now, for anyone who hasn't heard of the Christmas Stampathon challenge, it is a Facebook group, and I don't think, maybe I do. Here is a scrap piece of paper. It is a Christmas challenge group that some of my demonstrator friends started from the UK, US and Australia. I will tell you a bit more about it soon. These are our new classic Stampin' Pad ink pads. They are very easy to open. There's just a notch here. You lift, these are brand new ones. They are a tad stiff. You just flip it open and push it back, and Bob's your uncle. Now, for the distinctive stamp, when we ink it up, we don't want to ink it up off the edge. We want to make sure we are squarely on the ink pad. Now, our ink pads, we don't want to be too juicy, and I will show you exactly why. So can you see, just with that, I have created a shaded dimensional textural image with one stamping, no two-step stamping. That's ready to go. Now I'll show you what I mean about having an ink pad that is too inky. Now I have stamped these two images earlier. These are brand new ink pads, as I said, so sometimes the brand new ink pads can be very, very inky. And these were the first two images I stamped out, and I decided, yep, they're way too inky. I haven't got the definition that I need, like in these two images. So what I did, now can I grab it? No, it's fallen in my caddy over here. I have a bone folder specifically used for my ink pads. You can use the back of a spoon. I have a lot of bone folders, and I chose this one. So I'm not going to do it with this one because, as you can see, it's I've already made it to the state that I want it. So all I do is, with the edge of the ink pad, is just drag it along. And what this does, it pushes the ink into the foam of the ink pad, leaving the surface area with less ink, so we can get better, crisper images with the distinctive ink pads, with the distinctive stamps rather. Okay, now I'll show you the distinctive stamps again. I'll take the Shaded Spruce. And you saw, hopefully you saw me open that. And I've just got the holly leaves. Now I have been able to hand cut these out before time, so what I'm showing you now is just stamping them. So they stamped out perfect, nice and crisp. You can see the texture and layering and shadows that we want to see in those images. Now I'm going to be really smart because these are new ink pads and I have projects sitting around, and pop these to the side. Now to close the ink pad, you take the end where I have put my sticker, you give that a push, and then you pull on this end all the way till you can move it. You don't want to force it, that's just sitting in the hinge part, and you just push it closed. I'll show you that again with the other ink pad. I just push on that end till I've got some movement, give it a pull, and see that's nice and ready to go, and just straight down. So there's no pushing and pulling to open it, it's just straight up, straight down, just make sure it's clicked. And the other thing I really like is there's they're not as gappy or as open on the lid, so hopefully our ink pads, oh look at that, I got ink all over it, surprise surprise. So your ink pads shouldn't dry out as fast. They also have a defoamer for our more solid images so we don't get that bubbly look, and they also have, you've got some nubs here, some divots here, so they stack beautifully on my desk, which I love a lot. Okay, so I am going to pop my stamping to the side for the moment, and I am going to bring in our dynamic textures embossing folder. Now this is the beautiful reef. I was lucky enough to receive this when I was doing some projects for Stampin' Up before it was released, and I loved it at first sight. So this is a thicker embossing folder, meaning they can make the images more detailed, and this gives us a deeper, more detailed image. Now I have pre-cut this shaded spruce, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zhuzh around a bit and just make this as even as Ellen can get it. So that's really good. I'm then going to bring in my Big Shot. So what I have here is the standard Big Shot platform. Now this whole folder replaces one of our normal plates. So I just pop, and I always do it hinge side first, and that stops the embossing folders from breaking at the hinge if you put it in hinge first. So I just pop it there. Pop my normal pad on top, and I'm just going to move this across for you guys and just pop it through, and that comes out nicely the other side. Just going to pop all this back, pop my Big Shot away. That's little platform, and what you are left with is this beautifully detailed and real. There is a lot of text, a lot of depth there, especially in these up here. You can see that's the full texture. It's just lovely. I love it. And we've got a lot of designs in the new catalogue using this textured embossing folder design. Okay, I'm going to get a baby wipe while I can, otherwise I'm going to get ink all over my white card base. and I don't want to do that for you guys. So going back to the Christmas Stampathon challenge, for every month that you participate in the Christmas Stampathon challenge, you earn a ticket into tickets into the draw for some prizes. So we all have some Christmas themed prize packs in each region, and we are also giving away one of our samples. So this month is to create 4 projects. Now they don't have to be cards, but they do have to be using texture. So you can use ribbon, you can use texture paste, you can use embossing. What else could we use? You can use pearls and rhinestones and enamel dots. Just thinking what else is in the catalogue while I line this up. There are so many things that we have. We just want to create some texture on the cards. But if you've got a distinctive stamp set, I did actually, oh my dear word, I did actually consider making a totally flat card with the distinctive stamp set, because that, in my opinion, that does create texture. But I thought that was just a touch cheeky, so I did add in the rest. Okay, so I've got our base, and I will bring in my pre-prepared, and I wasn't very prepared because I didn't put dimensionals on. Sorry, you're going to struggle here watching me do these dimensionals. So yeah, we are a group on Facebook for the Christmas Stampathon challenge. We just wanted to challenge ourselves and all our friends and anyone who wants to participate to just get ready for Christmas. I always struggle, and I am going to be a happy camper in 5 months, 6 months time when I get to Christmas, or really 4 or 5 months by the time I start getting out my Christmas cards and getting things prepared, that I'm going to have all these projects made and ready to go. So that is going to make my life so much easier, that all I have to do is write the cards, address the envelopes, and Bob's your uncle. Although I am very interested to see what's happening in our upcoming holiday catalogue, to see like I make some decorations and gifts for teachers and friends and my team at Christmas time. So I can't wait to see what awesome ideas they have in there for me, because I like things to be easy. But then again, I do like coming up with my idea. This idea just came straight out of my head, wasn't inspired by anything other than the fact that I really wanted to use this set. Sorry if my voice is going a bit croaky. I have been at my son's black belt, meant to be a 24-hour black belt karate grading. It ended up being 26 hours. So I've had a bit of a huge weekend. So I've just popped those pre-cut leaves, tucking them under there. Stamp. So I'm going back to the stamp set, which I've lost on my desk. Surprise, surprise. I'm just going to use the piece in the stamp set for the sentiment, and I'm going to use our Whisper White craft ink. Now, if you wanted to, this ink does stay wet a bit longer you can emboss in white embossing powder. Now, when you get this ink pad in particular, it does come uninked, but you do get your refill of the Whisper White Craft ink, it's a Whisper White pigment ink, and you re-ink that yourself. So this foam base is slightly different to our other foam ink pads, but it works well. So I inked this up maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's still nice and juicy. I didn't do a full saturation, but it's working really, really well for me. Okay, so no, I haven't got enough space there. So what I'm doing, I'm just nestling it in here for a connection with the flower, so it's not actually the sentiment isn't floating in space as such. Now, this is really bold at the moment. It will dry back, but it'll still be legible. And the reason why I wanted something white, I wanted to match up the white card base, the white that I've stamped on, and then doing a white sentiment for me made perfect sense, and it just tied the whole card together quite nicely. Okay, that's all closed. Now for a final touch, and I've lost my other cards. No, I haven't. So I did try some embellishing on my other cards, and I had some levels of success. With this card, I did try and add some of our Wink of Stella to the petals. And what I found when I put it side by side with my finished card is I lost a lot of that petal definition. So it's okay, I'll still use it, but I prefer leaving that flat. So that was experiment number 1. I did add some pearls to the middle to add a bit more texture and just to finish the flower off. But my favourite pearls that I am using are our new metallic pearls. They come in a teeny tiny packet, but you get 242 pearls. So it's a lot of pearls, and we do have them in the gold and the silver. Okay. Let's see if I can get these out, because like everything else, this weekend's a struggle. I am just recording this a day earlier, so I am still on the weekend. Oh my dear word. They came out so easily earlier. So easily, but guess what? I just got 2 on my hand. So I'll use these first. So I'm just going for the silver, just to get a slightly different look. Is it going to go where I want it to? And the answer is in a second. There we go. There's one on. Got that securely on the end there. I love using my scissors for these things because, as many of you know, my hands don't play ball a lot of the time, and this just gives me an extension so I'm not fumbling with my fingers, and I'm just able to give this a nice grip. A pair of tweezers would do the same thing, or a paper piecing tool as well. So I think that just adds the perfect touch. As you can see, this is drying back quite nicely. I often heat set my white craft ink, but these ones that I did previously have dried really nicely and quite quickly. So I'm not sure if that's the new ink or not, but in about 20 minutes that will be done and ready to go. So I would love it if you could come and join us over at our Christmas Stampathon challenge. The link will be in the description box below. If you like any of the products that I have used on today's cards, please hop over to my online store to purchase. those. I will also have that link. And if you want to see more projects, pop over to Facebook, like my page, and I do show them there. I have been a bit preoccupied with my son's black belt preparation duties at the moment, but hopefully I will get back to sharing more of the things that I am making, and I do have so much that I want to share with you guys. So have a wonderful day. I will see you over on our Facebook group, and thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.